a profession, and other basic amenities, and don't look any further than that, we use our bodies as a bullock cart. We just operate at the instinct level and remain with an overloaded unconscious mind. Those of us who additionally move into art, creativity, philosophy and such things, involving not just the mind but the heart also, use our bodies as a tractor. We will find a certain fulfillment in ourselves. A poet who has given birth to a poem will be happier than a woman who has given birth to a child. In the case of the latter, the womb is centered in the stomach, whereas in the former, it is centered in the heart, and so the fulfillment. These people will be able to operate at the intellectual level. Finally, the man who enters into spirituality and develops a thirst for true knowledge and realizes that he is the ultimate existential energy in physical form, uses his body as an aircraft. Enlightened masters use their bodies as an aircraft. They are so ecstatic all the time. They rise beyond all miseries of the bullock cart and tractor and just fly. They operate at the intuitive level. What should we do to become an aircraft? What was the difference between the villagers and the army officer? The aircraft remained the same. Nothing was added to it or removed from it. No physical changes were made in it. Am I right? Then what was the difference? Come on, tell me. Knowledge, Swamiji? Yes, knowledge. The knowledge of the mechanism of the aircraft. The villagers did not know that the device had such a mechanism that could be operated in a way that it can fly. Whereas the army officer knew all about it. That's all. The technique with which they handled the aircraft made it first a bullock cart, then a tractor, and then finally an aircraft. Just like this, there are mechanisms or gears inside us called the chakras, which are boundless energy centers and which, when handled properly, can make us into an aircraft. A man who has no knowledge of these chakras continues to walk on the ground, whereas a master who knows how to operate them simply flies. When we understand the science behind these chakras, we can become aware of our present deep unconscious state. Once we understand this, we can free ourselves from the load of the unconscious and start moving to the higher dimensions of our being. These chakras are not physical entities in our body. They are metaphysical representations because they belong to the auric body and not the physical body. Killian photography has enabled us to capture these chakras and prove their existence in the metaphysical plane. It has been proved that when a person is locked with a particular negative emotion, the chakra associated with that emotion shrinks to the size of a coat button. It becomes that small. But when the same person experiences the associated positive emotion, the chakra expands to the size of a cartwheel. This is the effect that our emotions have on these energy centers, our chakras. Our energy flow in these chakras is blocked by our negative emotions, and we are totally unaware of it. Understand, man has not been designed to be a worm that crawls on the ground. He has been designed to fly in the air. The science of flying is nothing but the science of learning how to handle the chakras, how to handle your emotions. If you learn how to use the 7 chakras in the body, it is enough. Like how the villagers had no idea that the device could fly, man has no idea that he can fly. Man always thinks that enlightened people are gifted people and that he should stand at a distance and look at them with awe and respect. He never aspires to become like them. I tell you now, if you are really interested in achieving in the inner world, you will achieve it, come what may. The problem is, you don't believe that you can achieve. Just like how the villagers refused to believe that the device could fly, you refuse to believe that you are actually designed for much higher things. A small story. A young girl was learning how to play the piano. She was struggling to cope with the master's lessons. The man next to her was an expert pianist, and he was playing a song by himself. The little girl walked over and watched him play for some time. She finally asked, "Sir, do you by any chance have more fingers than I do?" Just like that, we always think that we are not gifted as we should be. The truth is, we have all that we need in us already. We only don't know how to use it effectively. Most of us treat our lives, our potential, like a bullock cart or a tractor. We don't know that it can transform into being an aircraft. The power to fly lies within you, but it can lie latent forever unless you learn the science behind these chakras. In these few days, you'll get a clear insight into the emotions behind each of these chakras, what locks these chakras and therefore the energy, what unlocks them, and how we can keep them in an energized condition. A master is one who talks out of his experience of the ultimate truth. He talks with the ultimate authority because he has had the ultimate experience. We are all generally under the impression that only with age and experience maturity happens and one can flower. Masters are living examples to show that you don't need time to mature and flower. Let me explain this further to you. When you were a child, you were very much attached to your toys, is it not? If someone took a toy away from you, how would you react? You would scream and cry as if your whole life depended on it, right? But once you've grown up, if someone takes a toy away, would it matter to you? Will you feel upset? No. You are no longer attached to the toy. When knowledge descends on you, maturity happens naturally. This kind of knowledge and maturity, although we feel it comes with age, actually has nothing to do with physical age. It is to do with a man's mental age. Research has found ways of detecting a man's mental age. They have found that the average man's mental age is not more than 14. With a man's physical age, he needs to go through all possible experiences, make all possible mistakes, and become experienced and then mature. It is something like this. When we touch the flame of a candle, we get burnt and learn that the candle flame burns. Next, we touch the fire on the stove and learn that the stove fire also burns. Next, we touch the cigarette butt and learn that that also burns. Then we touch burning coal and learn that it too burns. In this way, by touching various forms of fire, we learn that all forms of fire burn. By the time we learn this, it becomes time for us to go to the burning heart ourselves. This is what we call experience in life. This is what we call learning by experience, acquiring knowledge with physical age. It takes you a lifetime